watch that. evening. We're going to begin in just a couple of moments, but I'm looking for Michelle Ecator. If Michelle Ecator is here, please come on down. And we'll begin in just a moment.
I'll just stand on the other side of the tables. Okay. If you're on this side of center, yep. The kid can come to me. I can pass it. They'll come to you. Any photos can be there. Handshake and deep, meaningful look in the eyes. And then return to seat.
Grab your seat. Okay. Good evening and welcome to the 2025 G.W. Graham Secondary School Principal's Reception. My name is Chuck Lawson and I'm the principal of G.W. Graham Secondary. It's my pleasure to kick off our ceremony this evening by introducing Counselor of the Cheecham Band, Lauren Muth, for our traditional welcome, and then he's also going to introduce the Williams family for a traditional song. Please join me in welcoming Lauren Muth.
Aiswail, Sialtamuk Talsqui, Talitsaquah Chiactal. Good day, everyone. My Huamuk Squi is Sialtamuk, and my given name is Lauren Muth. As Chuck mentioned, I'm a council member for Cheecham First Nation. And I just wanted to welcome you all here to the territory. As probably many of you know, we're located on the Chokwayak territory, and Cheecham First Nation is just across the road. This land was actually situated on land that used to be a part of our original reserve, and over the many years of colonization, the land was eventually reverted to the school, which is actually a really great thing because we get to gather here and have these ceremonies and come together and honor all the students here tonight. I just wanted to also raise my hands to the faculty here at the school for hosting a great event. In the past we didn't have these events all the time. I graduated from, Sardis Secondary, and I would have never actually been able to come to one of these events because I didn't have honors growing up. But it's something that every experience that a young person has, whether it's good or bad, really builds them as a person. And whether or not they recognize it today, as they age and as they get older, they'll see all the experiences that they had that make them into the person that they truly have become. So I really just wanted to also raise my hands to the families that brought all their students here to show their support, the caregivers, the grandparents, the aunties and uncles, and really just send my strongest welcome to the territory. And I hope the rest of the night goes really well, and thank you for supporting your students so well. So thank you. Oh, and I'd also almost forgot to introduce the Cinqua singers.
up, I think, in GW for always being so inclusive in our culture. And you know, when we sing, the meaning behind a lot of our singing is, you know, we're singing, we're praying. We're a people, we believe in prayer. And you know, as we sang that song, you know, we pray for strength, we pray for, you know, patience, we pray for anything that will help you guys on your journey with education. So, Hajka.
Thank you to Lauren and the Williams family. If everybody could please rise if you can and join Michelle Ecator for the singing of O Canada. Somebody needs to drop the puck after that. I don't know. It is opening night for the Canucks. As we celebrate our students, the accomplishment, I just want to give a bit of background about the principal's reception. Diego Test, the very first principal of GW Graham, and the opening staff said we really want to make sure we honor and celebrate the successes of our students. And we're very proud that, especially in June, there's the athletics banquets and there's fine arts celebrations. And then we have our academic awards celebrations. But the original team said what they wanted to have was something to follow up in fall, which is our principal's reception. Because what happens in June is the awards are all based on all the effort from first term, second term, and third term. And the staff wanted to have a follow-up, which is our celebration this evening. The celebrations we're looking at is outstanding achievements of the students we're going to be calling up here this evening, who had demonstrated success straight through every term last year, and so well done to the students. But before I get to the students, I'd like to be able to give some thanks to some wonderful people that are part of your journey. I'd like to turn to the staff at GW Graham Secondary School. Thank you to all the teachers for your dedication, your commitment to professional development, and supporting your colleagues for the very engaging learning environments that we have throughout GW Graham on a regular basis here. The other morning, arrived to school, had a meeting with our assistant superintendent, Paula Jordan, who was a vice principal here at this school. And we were here at 6:45. We arrived together and she stopped and said, Chuck, take a look around. Like, this parking lot's already very busy. And it speaks volumes about this school of pride. She and I are both looking at what happens. And so much goes to our staff. And they were here early in the morning that day. And I thought about her later in the day as I left around 6 o'clock. There was a volleyball game leaving. There's another crew of parents coming in and kids for another game after. So thanks so very much. How about a round of applause to the staff at GW Graham for your dedication and hard work. And then I'm lucky, as I mentioned, the other part would be the parents. I have a wonderful seat. I do get out of the office, but I also have this window and a door right there. And I can see parents coming and going. This is a very busy school. And whether that's going to be celebrations right here in our theater, whether that's music performances or drama, or whether that's in our gym or clubs after school, there's a lot going on. So to all the parents and all the family members, we know that you're there cheering on the sidelines. We also know that you're there on the difficult times. the success we're celebrating tonight, we also know there's also some tough times. Maybe it's a paper that didn't work out or a test. Maybe there's some tears at home. So thank you so very much for being that ear, just to be able to listen to your son or daughter, and to be able to be there to listen to the youth, and to be able to be there to cheer them on the sidelines and celebrate, and be able to give them the hug and a high five that they deserve. So how about a round of applause for our parents and family members? And now to the students. I'm so proud of you because, first of all, to the individuals, each of you that we call up here this evening, it takes a lot as far as we're also, and I mentioned all the things going on, a lot of you, not only with your academic success, you're also very busy in our school. So we can set up all these opportunities, but of course none of this happens or takes place unless you have the guts to be able to step forward to take on those challenges and to embrace those opportunities. For the students, individually, we are super proud of you and we look forward to celebrating you here this evening. But I also want to say collectively, the impact that you have on the school culture. I'll share a brief story from last year. It was around this time last year. I was in my office, and one of our clerical team came down and asked if I had a moment because we had a guest that wanted to set up a scholarship for our students. And his name is Roger Hubner, is when I met him when he came in, and Roger and I didn't know each other. It was a wonderful visit, as with pride, I was able to share great things going on here at GW Graham Secondary School. And he heard about our school, and he wanted to be a part of it. And he let me know that he'd like to set up a scholarship, so I connected with the district team. And he set up a scholarship in his uncle and aunt's names, Hugo and Helen Ellert. And he said, I'd like to be able to set it up a $1,000 scholarship, and he set up, as we support him, how that's going to look. And his one request was, he just said, could I just have a picture of my uncle and aunt up during the ceremony? That would mean a lot. So we moved forward with that, and he supported that. We got the scholarship set up. Last year, he was actually with his wife traveling through Greece. This is where I stop and pause and thank our live streaming team. We're so very fortunate. It meant a lot to them that he was in Greece, and he was able to connect with our awards ceremony through the live streaming and watch that. And then he was really touched, and he wanted to be able to connect for a commencement ceremony again through the live stream, was able to watch that. And he called me up in August here, and he said, Chuck, I just was blown away. It meant so very much that I'd like to be able to double that and have a $1,000 scholarship and two $500 scholarships. So to all the students, I want to let you know your success does get noticed. And I thank you so very much. We have a very generous community, and we're very fortunate. But when you succeed and people notice, then what happens is we get more support and more opportunities for future students. So how about a round of applause for all the students who are going to be honored tonight. I think with that in mind, I'm going to pass it over to Mr. Abraham, because let's get these wonderful students up on stage, and Mr. Abraham will guide us through that. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you. Before we begin with our grade 10, 11, and 12 students here this evening, we actually are honored this evening to also recognize one student with the Governor General's Academic Medal. So dating back to 1873, the Governor General's Medal of Academic Excellence is one of the most prestigious awards that students in Canadian schools can receive. For nearly 150 years, this has been awarded to the student graduating with the highest grade point average from their school. I can tell you with many excellent scholars here at GW Graham, this award did not come easy. There were many young and deserving candidates, but tonight we celebrate the individual with the highest grade point average out of all graduating students from GW Graham. We are pleased to honor Aaliyah Varugi, graduating GW Graham just last year with the highest academic honors and exemplifying what it means to be a Grizzly. While Aaliyah can't be here with us this evening, she has prepared a message that she would like to share with everybody.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aaliyah Ruby. I'm honored to receive the 2025 Governor General's Award. This fall, I started my degree in anthropology and archaeology at the University of Alberta. I'm loving my experience with post-secondary so far. It is such an amazing opportunity to study what I love, and I'm thankful for all the support I received while I was at GW Graham. I could not have so many events and opportunities to get involved with in grade 12. It was the best year of high school for me, and grads of 2026, I hope it will be for you as well. I'll be honest, AP biology was like the trenches. Studying day in, day out, trying to draw cellular respiration diagrams on Mr. Al's whiteboard, stacks upon stacks of flashcards, and staying up late the night before the exam, wondering if I knew anything about cells at all. But I wouldn't trade it for the world, because those study sessions and hangouts with friends, clubs, sports, and grad events made it all worth it. If I had to sum up my high school experience in a few words, it would be work hard, play hard. Your rest between exams and studying shouldn't be doom scrolling on your phone. Spending time with the people you love and doing the hobbies you enjoy is true and meaningful rest. To quote from the Dead Poets Society, the human race is filled with passion, and medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for. My second encouragement is to yes, work hard at school, feed your brain, but also feed your soul. Your grades do not define you. As another great poet by the name of Taylor Swift once said, we are defined by the things that we love. So I encourage you all to keep learning, not just for the grades, but for the sake of curiosity and personal growth. Surround yourself with people who challenge and support you, and enjoy the memories that come with it. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and congratulations, students, on this incredible achievement.
I should mention there she had a 99% average, so it's no easy feat what Leah was able to achieve here. Now, as we move into the next portion of the evening, our recognition section, we'd like to begin by, we'd call students down to the stage. Now, students, as you're called down, I want you to think and pause and remember the hard work that you put in throughout this year. You were able to achieve A honors every single term of this last school year. And I know for some you might think, oh yeah, no, I'm used to that. That is a huge accomplishment. That comes with incredible hard work, and we're so proud of you this evening. As we call you down, we're gonna ask that you come and stand just in the center here, and we have a small gift as a token of appreciation for each one of you this evening. And before we call you down, I'm going to just say a few remarks about those gifts that we're gonna be giving you guys tonight. In addition, we ask that everybody stay for each grade on the platform. We're gonna try to get you all together nice and squished for a photo for our yearbook as well. So we'll call everybody down by grade. When it's your turn and your grade is called, please remain on the stage, and then we'll get a photo at the end that we can celebrate in our school yearbook as well. So tonight we're going to begin with our current grade 10 students. So grade 10 students, last year in grade 9, you earned extending in a majority of your courses throughout the year, and you're being recognized for an especially meaningful accomplishment. You made a leap from middle school to high school, a transition filled with new expectations, challenges, opportunities, and along the way, you demonstrated not only academic excellence, but also what it means to grow as a G.W. Graham Grizzly, being committed to service, citizenship, and building a strong foundation for your high school journey. And so tonight, grade 10 students, we're gonna be gifting you the G.W. Graham Grizzly Bear as a token of that, as your journey moving into life here at Graham as a Grizzly and into our senior grades. So, without any further delay, I'm going to start calling down the names of grade 10 students. Now, there are a lot of you, and I'm going to try my best with the pronunciations. All right. Could we have Mason Bauya, Valentina Bilogorova, Jack Blatz, Chloe Capaduca, Mia Carberry, Hafsa Chaudhry, Dorian Christescu, Hannah Davies, Wyatt Edwards, Abigail Elliott, Tamara Ember, Jaden Farmer, Ava Galasso, Levi Hallberg, Adelaide Isaac, Chloe Jalbert, Savannah Jensen, Nora Jobu, Max Keener, Indy Clausen, Orcel Cuadio, Reese Larson, Hannah Lauders, Abel Manoa, Everly Massey, Gabriel Mello, Ara Morau, Taylor Monroe, Emma Ng, Vienna Nguyen, Soham Nigam, Janae Nothnagel, Chloe O'Connor, Oyen Ukunlola, Quinn Olson, Ava Perry, Troy Pham, Austin Pierce, Riley Prokuda, Diane Quach, Lola Sadiku, Tegan Setter, Funto Sodipo, Kaylee Svela, Adeline Ternulo, Sloan Tunnicliffe, Addison Van Dongen, Annabella Velasquez Lazo, Avia Vicker, Joshua Wallaline, Emily Wang, Hannah Wanamaker, Tessa Wicker, and Jacobo Zapparoli. Please give all of our great students a warm round of applause. Grade 10s, I want you to just take a quick moment and look at all of the amazing classmates that you guys have and really take this moment in to celebrate your accomplishments. It was no easy feat and we're super proud of you this evening. Now I'm gonna get you to look all at this camera right here and we're gonna try to get everybody in this photo. Play the Jeopardy music in my head. One more. Awesome. Thank you, grade 10s. Please give another round of applause. Now to recognize our grade 11 students. So last year you were in grade 10. And now I do know there was a little glitch in the program, so some of the names might not appear in the program. We apologize, but if your name is missed, come on down. But for our grade 11 students who also achieved A honors in every single term last year, we mark your achievements tonight with a GW Graham Grizzly keychain. So this symbol carries a little bit of dual meaning for you. It reflects the particular milestone that many of you are reaching as new drivers, while also reminding you guys of the metaphorical keys that you hold. As you move from grade 10 into grade 11, you really do take on greater steps of responsibility, of leadership and influence within our school. And this keychain represents both that freedom that you're getting, maybe as you're getting your driver's license, but also some of the accountability, which is fitting for students who embody academic excellence, strength, and values of a GW Graham Grizzly. So we're really fortunate to have you here this evening, and we're really proud of you, grade 11s. I'm gonna start now calling down our grade 11s. So similar to our grade 10 students, please remain on the stage. We're gonna get you all your keychain, and then we're gonna take one big group photo together at the very end. All right. Ibrahim Abdul Wahid. Lada Adamson. Aiden Alfred. Delaney Armstrong. Ben Armstrong. Emmy Bartel. Kelsey Bertram. Andre Brooks. Lily Cole. Jasmine Cooper. Morgan Cormack. Willow Cuvillier. Vida Dabalos. Romeo Deach. Hannah Doe. Lillian Dungate. Jocelyn Dick. Michelle Ecator. Etta Ferrier. Sam Furtado. Ava Greenway. Ben Hall. Theodora Hart. Danica Haviland. Chelsea Haralick. Nancy He. Carmen Herman. Simone Herman. Celia Hughes Kaxur. Sean Hill. Isla Hodge. Anise Janati. McKinley Johnson. Jamie Jordan. Adnan Kadir. Emma Keinar. Anna Kirsch. Oscar Labs. Stella Lawrence. Mason Lowen. Alyssa McGowan. Chase Marchuk. Eve McElhos. Jay McKeown, Avery McLeod. Ainsley Molnar. Grayson Moritzen. Holly Ray Murden. Caitlin Nye. Olivia Nicholson. Sienna Nurulin Hussein. Alexa Packman. Isla Patrick. Kiefer Penner. Kate Penner. Frederick Petritus. Ilya Pourmokhtari. Michael Raba. Lola Ramos Brelek. Artika Rezka. Samantha Runzer. Mia Shearer. Lisa Shield. Alyssa Solomon. Emery Spielman. Anaya Syed. Alexander Sigety. Sienna Truong. And Leah Vandenberg. Please join me in giving a big warm round of applause to our grade 11 students. As you can tell, we have a massive group of grade 11s. They're the biggest group of students in this school. It's going to be a bit wild when they're all in grade 12, but congratulations, grade 11s. We're all going to have to scooch, so we're going to have to get really tightly close together. So we're going to scooch it as much as we can, and just up at the corner here, we're going to look up at the camera. Now, as we look to our grade 12 students, I want to call on Chuck Lawson to say some remarks about the gift that the grade 12s are going to receive tonight.
Okay, for our graduating class of 2026, I'm going to share a little bit longer because there's some history of this, again, about the first principal, Diego Testa. He was the one that came up with the idea. He wanted to be able to have all the future principals would have the joy of selecting a book for that class and again, acknowledging the achievements, the success from our grade 12 students last year. So normally what I've had, I've been very fortunate, our librarian, Miss McConnell, if all students, make sure you get to know Miss McConnell. She's a wonderful support for you and a wonderful support for me. Usually in June, she'll stop by and see me and give a few books and say, Chuck, here's 5 books to be able to look through, pick out something that she recommended would be really good for the principal's reception. This year I did go a different path. I actually selected a book that was selected in the past. I personally had a tougher summer as both my parents passed away, but I've definitely got to the point where a lot to celebrate, a lot to be thankful for. They lived to 92 and 93, and we're able to have a wonderful celebration of their lives. But while I was with them, I thought about this book and I thought about our students and your amazing success. And I actually appreciate when Diego Testa shared this book, I took time with my parents and I was reading it to them. So with it, I'll tell you a few passages and the key messages that I hope you take away from this book. So just in the introduction, he said, maybe it was a grandparent or a teacher or a colleague, someone older, patient and wise, who understood you when you were young and searching, helped you see the world as a more profound place, gave you sound advice to help you make your way through it. For Mitch Albom, that person was Maury Schwartz, his college professor from nearly 20 years ago. Again, sorry, the book is called Tuesdays with Maury. And as I mentioned that's the author, Mitch Albom, who connected with a professor who made a significant impact on him. And they were at Brandeis University in the city of Waltham, Massachusetts. And with that, what I really appreciate Mitch's story was he was a bit more of a sports person, and Maury was a sociology professor. And he ended up taking one course from him, and he was so engaged, he wanted to take more and more courses with Maury. And Maury's courses were usually taught on Tuesday, and Maury's office time was on Tuesday. So Mitch, that's why, hence the name of the book, Tuesdays with Maury, the classes in the office time. And then later in life, which I'll get to, they reconnected and were able to visit again on Tuesdays. With it, Mitch, at his graduation, he was so proud of his connection with his professor. He had a gift from Maury, a wonderful brown leather briefcase with Maury's initials on that. And as he gave it to them, they both engaged, and he said, yes, we're going to keep in touch. You made such major impact, and I'll never forget you, and I'll reach out and we'll be in touch. But life happens. And Mitch ended up getting a wonderful sports job as far as a writer for a local paper in Detroit. And he's following the Detroit Tigers, the Detroit Lions, Detroit Red Wings, Detroit Pistons, and then other major events such as Wimbledon and soccer games throughout. He was super busy. Passionately enjoyed sports, but he was so busy that there was a void in his life. And he noticed what happened. So that was his journey, that he was getting busy and living the sports, but there was a void there for him. For Maury, he continued as a professor at the university and teaching sociology courses. And for him in 1994, he had a challenge, or some physical challenges. His body was having some challenges. He fell a few times and something wasn't right. So he went through a few tests. And then finally he got diagnosed, unfortunately, with ALS, which is also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, named after the famous baseball player from the New York Yankees who in 1939 was diagnosed with ALS, and the name often referred to as Lou Gehrig's disease. It's a disease that attacks the nervous system, and Maury was struggling with the fact that the doctor said you have about 2 years to live. He felt he had even less than that. And of course, as he went through, he struggled with what had happened to him. But what got him through it was that sense of purpose. He reloaded and took on his final project, was really a sociology project about his own death and the learning and the conversations he was going to be having with others. In this book, and I look out at our students who are celebrating, And I see it so often at this school. The students who are thriving, you have a sense of purpose, you're engaged, and that takes you so very far. That's an ongoing message within this book that Maury would say is make sure you're engaged and feed that passion. So the first message is going to have, be patient with me, I did put a whole bunch of sticky notes here, but I will just brief passages. This again, his thought about the purpose of being engaged. He said that so many people walk around with a meaningless life. They seem half asleep even when they're busy doing things they think are important. This is because they are chasing the wrong things. The way to get meaning into your life is to devote yourself to loving others, devote yourself to your community around you, and to devote yourself to creating something that gives you purpose and meaning. Something that gives you purpose and meaning. When he was struggling, again, his purpose and meaning was telling stories about his death. He had a lot of visitors going through, and he had some quotes. He kept papers around. The second passage will be just a quick example of the quotes that he kept. Oops, sorry. I should have had a stand for this. There I am. So, these are some examples, thoughts that he was having. Yet he refused to be depressed. Instead, Maury had become a lightning rod of ideas. He jotted down his thoughts on yellow pads, envelopes, folders, scrap paper. He wrote bite-sized philosophies about living with death's shadow. Accept what you are able to do and what you're not able to do. Accept the past as the past without denying it or discarding it. Learn to forgive yourself and to forgive others. Don't assume that it's too late to get involved. With all his thoughts, a colleague of his, Maury Stein, was so taken with his words that he sent them to the Boston Globe reporter, who came out and wrote the long feature story about Maury, and the headline was, "A Professor's Final Course, His Own Death." With his journey, it was noticed, and then there was a show, it was called Dateline. It was a news magazine show back in the 90s. And Ted Koppel was the one that would be doing interviews through this. And Dateline noticed this, and they connected with Maury, and they did a story, several stories actually, with Maury. At that point, 20 years later, from when Mitch had graduated, he sees the Dateline episode of his professor that he was engaged with and was so taken back. He said, I have to reconnect. At that same time, the paper he was working for actually went on a strike. So he made a commitment that he was going to go meet Maury again. It made such an impact on him that he ended up following up with meeting every Tuesday. He'd fly in to be able to see him, and he'd record their meetings because he was getting so much out of it. This book is all about the stories and their engagement and that he jotted down and recorded, and there's so much of wealth of information in here. So I know you're super busy students. Maybe it's something you put aside, and maybe it's a summertime read that you pick it up. But again, the key message, I'll read one more message from it. The key message is that sense of purpose is so important. The other part that I think that it's a good takeaway for you, because you are super busy students. I love how engaged you are. I love how dedicated and driven you are. But to find that time to slow down, I was able to take that time with my parents actually to just slow down because you're there. And whether that is just be able to slow down and take in nature, take in your relationship with your friends and family members. Because you got to be able to find that. Don't just get on that treadmill and get so busy and miss that. So his quick thought I had, one last one, was about him just having the time to embrace nature. And he said, appreciate it. He said, yes. I look out that window every day. I notice the change in the trees, how strong the wind is blowing. It's as if I can see time actually passing through that window pane. Because I know my time is almost done. I'm drawn to nature like I'm seeing it for the very first time. I was also fortunate, I think of that when I hear it. Having my own children, I have a son and a daughter, and I loved learning and seeing the world again through a child's eyes. So for class of 2026, when you get time, I challenge you, I encourage you to read this book. There's some wonderful messages in there. I'll pass it back to Mr. Abraham. Let's get our class of 2026 up here.
Now, I know many of our grade 12 students this evening are at different events playing sports and at work, but for those who are here this evening, I'm going to call everybody's name down just as the same as grade 10 and 11 students. Please remain on the platform. We've got a book for each one of you, and then we'll take one photo together. So starting with Lena Al-Katab, Beck Anti-Fayef, Owen Barda, Chloe Baldwin, Kale Bartel, Montana Bergen, Sophie Bouthot, Aria Burton, Ben Coton, Kaylee DeMeyer, Maggie Epp, Ariana Ezebiro, Elena Firdaus, Sophie Flannery, Balrajan Gill, Evie Gonay, Haley Green, Annika Gross, Katrine Groban, Mana Awata, Adriana Jansen, Naya Jobu, Michelle Angie Kasama Kamsu, Luna Karaluk, Han Kim, Puneet Lit, Maya Lucas, Sophie McNeil, Addie Martin, Amberly Mercado, Maya Markovic, Rayleigh Chelsea Perengao, Natalie Peacock, Jacob Pennerin, Aitana Perez Botija, Michelle Fonza, Ali Prang, Cole Price, Emma Ristow, Alexa Sanderson, Andrew Suddy, Kenji Tomines, Bajan Tour, Lane Tunnicliffe, Kellen Underwood, Peyton Veenstra, Emma Verreau, Laura Weiss, and Lillian Wright. If there's any grade 12s I missed, come on down. As the last grade 12s are just receiving their books, let's give them a warm round of applause for their accomplishments. This is a pretty incredible group of scholars here, so you can think next year you guys will be off likely to different colleges, universities, and whatever life has in store for you. And we're so proud of that this evening to celebrate your accomplishments last year, but look forward to all the great successes that we'll see coming up this year as well. Now, I think we've got everybody here with their books, so let's all... Oh yes, Mr. Lawson is correct. Everybody here, particularly our grade 12s who are on stage, this is an excellent thing to be updating into your scholarship references and academic scholarship information that you're putting together. Those packages, when you're able to say that you have consistently demonstrated academics in your high school, you've balanced work, you've balanced music, sports, all the different things, and you've still managed to put your dedication towards your studies, that is a huge accomplishment. Please remember to put that on those academic scholarship information packages that you put together. All right, let's get a photo here. Up at the very top corner. And at this time, I'm going to hand it back over to Mr. Lawson for some closing remarks for this evening.
Thanks, Bill. This concludes the formal portion of our celebration this evening, and we invite everybody. We have some snacks outside and a punch to be able to sit and just visit with each other and enjoy the non-formal part of our celebration. So before we wrap up, though, I'd like to be able to give some thank yous for some key players who helped organize things. We have, how about a round of applause for Miss Havland, our lead teacher of awards. You might have picked up that she and Mr. Pasterchik had the challenge to get all the names straight because the names are in the book, so that's what made it tough, but they made it happen. They did a good job. How about also a big thank you to our clerical team. They do so much of planning behind the scenes, so all the work. How about a round of applause for our clerical team? And a special thank you to the Banana Bakery for the reception portion, and to Carol Anderson, also had the Cinnabites for us. So thank you for that. This concludes the formal. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, round of applause for them.
Students on stage for a picture.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Abraham. As we would love to be able to have, and parents, you might want to take one last picture. We'd love to have all the students who recognized tonight. Just one quick one on the stage for one picture for our yearbook. And parents, either sit and get another picture or make your way outside and grab a little bite to eat. Thank you for joining us for the 2025 Principals Reception.